Hey Aquarius, welcome to August 2019. I'm doing a cute thing this month where I pull a medicine card for you for my medicine card deck, and this month for you I got Raven. The Raven portends of magic afoot and speaks to the void. So I'm excited to talk about Raven further, but right now I'm feeling called to just kind of dive into your reading because I feel like I'll know more about what Raven means for you once I pull some cards, and also if death comes up for you, I will not be surprised, but we'll see. Maybe not. Maybe that's not what the Raven's about. So, but when I was reading about Raven, I was like, it sounds like a huge potential transformation. Maybe the devil. Well, we'll see. I'm just kind of telling you what energies seemed like they might be. Okay, well, here we go. Daughter of Cups. Love it. Okay. Great. We got a bunch fell out, but I love working with a couple at a time, so we'll do these. Cool. Okay, so we got Eight of Cups. The Empress. The Sun. Two of Wands reversed. Man, I don't get the Two of Wands very often. The Three of Cups. The Hanged Man reversed. The Seven of Cups upright. The Father of Swords. And the Four of Cups. Where to begin? Well, I feel like naturally the Eight of Cups. So when I was reading about Raven, a lot of Raven is kind of a messenger, and it was talking about how Raven is a messenger from the void, about how, like, in the darkness is called the Great Mystery, and then the Great Spirit came from the Great Mystery. So it kind of sounded like Big Bang Theory shit to me. You know, like, that all creation kind of came from nothing, and that within, like, this darkness, or, like, the like, almost kind of like how, like, the void we're always trying to fill is God. Like, that, you know, we use the light to kind of transmute the darkness. It definitely felt like it had a lot to do with light and dark. And some kind of healing. So, for you with the Eight of Cups, I feel like, oh yeah, there is some situation that you are increasingly wanting to move on from. Your heart's not in it. You're emotionally spent. I think that there is a feeling of perhaps burnout. And so I just feel like there's this thing that's, like, untenable, and you need transformation, you need to change, you, like, need light. It's kind of like you really just are also feeling stuck, but your stuckness, it's like you're because it's reversed, right? You're not a bat in its natural position. You're a bat, like, alert and kind of, like, looking, like, it just feels kind of like you're wrapped up within yourself, but that really what you really want to be doing is spreading your wings and flying and getting the fuck out of wherever you're coming from. There's just this, like, really deep need to kind of try new paths, but I think with this Two of Wands reverse, it's like you're looking for the paths, because there's just definitely a feeling of being stuck. So it's like the Eight of Cups, it's like you want to get out, you want to move forward, but you're unable to see how you're going to possibly move forward. It just feels like you're kind of caught. And with the Seven of Cups, I feel like it's all just very overwhelming, confusing, not clear. It's like there's the sense of, for you, and with this Four of Cups, I think that wherever you are, you're kind of like just feeling emotionally lacking in some way. And I really feel like, to bring it back to Raven, it's like you're searching for magic. The Raven is an invitation to get deeper into magic, but I think that there's a sense of you having to realize that part of why you're so confused and why you're so, like, grumpy a little bit or dissatisfied, part of it is because your solution and the reason why you're trapped in this kind of like dead end place is because your change ultimately has to come from within you. There, you will be able to get out, but I think that it's not going to come from you even really identifying a new opportunity. It won't be about that. And it won't be about you, like, necessarily even flying somewhere. It might happen for you even where you're at. The, like, thing that you need to change. And I hope I'm making sense. I'm channeling divine messages. I'm not always... They're flowing, you know? So, with Raven, I feel like... And then the sun... It's like you'll be able to see in the darkness when you turn on your own inner light. And by that, I mean... when you realize it's all coming from within you, and by that, I mean... even this looks kind of like what I would think the Big Bang looks like, right? So, like, I really don't know. To me, the Eight of Cups is, like, actually necessarily a physical move forward. For example, if you were in a job you hate, that's keeping you small and keeping you stuck, and you know you want to go live your higher purpose, your bigger truth, and you're like, I want to be more independent, and I'm not being treated to my full value here, but I have no idea which way to go because there's so many different things I could do, and I don't know what to invest my time and energy in, and I'm just, like, stuck in place and, like, looking for which way to go, but it's not evident. And what I really feel like, and I love this podcast called The Spiritual Gaze, highly recommend. They interviewed director Justin Simeon in one episode, and he was talking about how when he, this is a plug for them, so I hope they don't mind that I'm using a snippet of their interview in my tarot reading, but it really resonated with me, which he was talking about, because he wanted to be a director and, like, go live his creative life, but when he, like, quit his 9-to-5 job, he, like, got really depressed because he was, like, still stuck in the 9-to-5 mindset. It's like 9-to-5 had been so ingrained in him that it was, like, his identity, so even when he wasn't in that situation, like, it was still the way he was living his life, it was still how he was approaching himself, and so he was, like, starting to feel, like, feelings of guilt or, like, whatever about how he was handling his approach, because it's just, like, basically there's all this internalized programming, so even when we do sometimes get out and know, even when we know we need to get out, it's like, it's so easy to think and feel that, like, once the external world is different, that will be the evidence we need that we've changed inside, and that will be the, like, validation and the answer that we're where we need to be, and that, like, things have changed and gotten better, and that we've healed, and that we're on the right track, and that we are living our higher purpose. Right? Okay. So, I think the message for you, Aquarius, is, like, don't worry about it happening like that. Don't worry about your progress and your growth and your, like, ability to shine and succeed and be your true self be dependent on what's happening to you externally. Let it really be something that is coming from within you, coming from within your own void, maybe, like visiting your own darkness, understanding yourself, just finding peace with all your behavior, having some forgiveness for yourself, having some, like, self-love, really, and I don't mean that in, like, the cheesy Hallmark way, I mean that in, like, the grittier, like, kind of more intense way, where you're really, like, allowing things to get dark. Like, I'm listening to this Leonard Cohen song, You Want It Darker, but I feel like the feeling I get for that song is, like, he's, like, facing his own death, and he's like, bring it at me, God, like, whatever's after this, like, whether it's, you know, an afterlife or complete nothingness and non-consciousness, like, it doesn't matter, like, I've made peace with this inevitability, and I think that's kind of what this energy is about. It's like, you just, like, truly having radical acceptance, radical peace for the moment you're in, and, like, holding the darkness and letting the light almost come from the, like, complete acceptance of that darkness. Because, like, let's think about the Big Bang. You know, like, what if it was just, like, there was nothingness? What is that spark? What was that, like, one thing that made everything explode and get bigger? Was it just, like, a consciousness? Like, I mean, I'm not, like, obviously I'm not a scientist, but I am just saying that, like, what even was creation? Like, how did something come from nothing? It's kind of like the mysteries of what we can't even answer, that we can't know what we don't know, and also that there's so much that we don't know, and so much more learning and growing that we're going to be doing, and so much learning and unlearning that we've already done. I think it's really, like, just making a peace with that, but then also, kind of, I'm just, like, seeing this, like, you know, like, this kind of, like, it just feels so, like, poof, like, it's kind of, I guess, like, hopefully for you, this is my biggest wish for you, is that it's, like, the end of Groundhog Day, when he realizes he's never gonna get out, and what he does is he blesses his day, like, he just goes and makes everyone else's life great. He just shines his light everywhere he goes, and he kind of actually embodies this Empress energy, I think, of, like, just giving and being nurturing, and I mean, also Father of Swords, a little bit of a different energy. I don't think this is related to this message. So, but what I'm saying is, like, it's like he stops trying to control the external outcomes, and he recognizes that, like, all this unhappiness and peace and, like, stuckness is something that he hasn't been able to fight. So he's letting his change come from within him. Like, he's changed. His circumstances didn't change, but he internally is completely different, and he's having a different experience of the same thing, and that's the magic, right? It's like the magic is having the new experience of the same old story, and then that changes the story because it's a new experience, right? And then that changes everything, and then that's, like, kind of the step. Then the next day it changed. So, like, things will change. It's because you've changed, and so it's like, I think this month, it's really tapping into the fact that what you're seeking is within you, to be super cheesy, but I hope this is making sense. So now, to bring it to the Father of Swords, I just really feel like this is getting clear, so that, like, a lot of, like, the finding the light in the darkness will be about recognizing the stories you tell yourself, the patterns that are there, taking accountability for them. Again, what I said about forgiveness, I think that there's just really a need to be very mindful of your mind. A mindfulness practice might be important right now, but I think you know, it's like my kombucha bottle always says, if you want to master the world, you must master your mind. Strawberry Serenity flavor. But, like, you know, it sounds like a trite bullshit thing when you read it on your kombucha, but when you really think about what that means, and think about, like, the Father of Swords, it's like, you're always, like, trying to be present, and you're always trying to just, like, bring yourself back to where you are, and have, like, find that sense of peace, like, just reminding yourself to come back. Someone literally told me, and I thought this was good advice, that her form of meditation was not to, like, sit and meditate, like have her eyes closed or whatever, but it was to remind herself to just say, I'm back. Because it's like your mind, like you start going somewhere else. And so she would say, I'm back. And then when you say I'm back, it's like, oh, I'm back in the present moment. I'm back right here. I'm back talking to you if you're talking to someone. I'm back just staring at this tree, whatever it is. So I think that you're kind of upping your magic game, but a lot of that comes from like a lot of deep internal work that's happening. And then, last but not least, we got the Daughter of Cups and the Three of Cups. Three of Cups makes me think of like hanging out with friends, having a good time, chilling. And the Daughter of Cups, to me, maybe this, okay, I'm going to give it to you, is like, I think there's a potential for like a deepening of some friendships, maybe some romance. I don't particularly see romance here, but I mean, and to bring it back to the end of Groundhog's Day, this is still the, like, at the end, like, they're all having a big party, and, like, he goes around the whole room, and everyone knows him, and everyone loves him. It's a celebration. So I feel like maybe you will kind of, like, start seeing, like, the validation and, like, the kind of evidence that your internal work of, like, transmuting the darkness and, like, really tapping into your magic is getting deeper when you're kind of giving of your own emotional self. And because you're an Aquarius, like, maybe being this, like, vulnerable and intimate with people is a little new. And that's why it would be the Daughter, which is also traditionally the Page. Kind of that it's like, it's a new bubbling of deeper connections with the people around you because you're shining your light. And maybe you're also not resenting, you know, all these other feelings that you've kind of already contended with. Like, this will be kind of the evidence that you were looking for the whole time of, like, your external world changing. It'll be, like, kind of just in how you relate. And then that might lead to a, oh, cool, Justice. Love it. So, yeah, like, I feel like this will be a really good period for you, Aquarius. Might be, like, a little bit, I don't know. I don't know how the experience of this energy will be for you, but I just do at least know that with Justice coming up, that you're, and even the Father of Swords, it's just kind of like, there is a little bit of clarity coming in, and things are kind of starting to make sense, and maybe, you know, I don't know, like, I guess it's just, like, because I talked earlier about you wanting to, like, leave a place, maybe. So, I think by, like, going through this process of coming from an internal shift, you might find either that the external shift that you're looking for happens, or you find you're able to make peace with your current situation in a way that changes it to make it good again. But, like, whatever, like, happens through your own evolution, I think it will just be what is in your highest good and in the highest good of everyone else involved. And I think there will just be a sense of clarity and a sense of, like, things kind of making sense and being okay in a way that they haven't been feeling for a while. Because that's part of what your quest and your, like, seeking has been about, but you're just getting justice, for lack of a better word. So, I think that's your reading. Got it done pretty on time. Love you, Aquarius. I do. Good luck with, this month. And see ya in September. Bye.